Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping into a huge idea with a super practical guide, systems thinking. It's a really powerful way to look at those problems that just seem to stick around no matter what you throw at them. Let's dive in. You know that feeling, right? You're wrestling with some issue at work, at home, wherever, and it just won't go away. Or, even worse, you solve it and it just pops back up in a slightly different way. It's incredibly frustrating, and we've all been there. Well, the reason those problems are so stubborn is that most of the time we're just playing whack-a-mole or attacking the symptoms, the obvious things we can see. But the real cause, that's usually buried deep inside the system itself, in this whole hidden network of connections. So let's try something different. Let's totally reframe our role here. We're not just problem solvers trying to patch a leak. Nope. We are now systems explorers, setting out to understand a whole new landscape. The goal isn't just to find a quick fix, it's to understand the entire territory. This whole explorer mindset, it really demands a change in how we look at things. We've got to train ourselves to see past the immediate, obvious stuff and start looking for the structures that are running the show from behind the scenes. So what exactly is systems thinking? Well, at its heart, it's about seeing the whole picture. It's a way of looking at the world where you focus on how things are connected, not just the individual pieces. You start to see these repeating patterns of behavior instead of just a bunch of random one-off events. Every great explorer needs a map. If you don't have one, you're not exploring, you're just lost. So our very first job is to draw one for our system. And the whole point of this map is to give our investigation some focus. It keeps us from getting totally overwhelmed and lost in the weeds, because it forces us to decide what's in our system and what's out, at least for now. Making our map is actually pretty straightforward. It's a three-step process. First, we set the boundaries. Basically, we draw a circle around what we're looking at. Second, we identify all the key elements and actors inside that circle. And finally, we start to trace the connections between them to see how they all interact. Okay, I know this can sound a bit abstract, so let's make it super concrete with a little mystery I think we can all relate to. The classic case of the constantly wilting houseplant. All right, let's map this system out. Our boundaries? Simple. It's the plant and its immediate little world, the pot, the corner it sits in. The elements are also pretty clear. You've got the plant, the soil, water, sunlight, the pot, and of course, you, the caretaker. The connections? Well, you add water, the soil soaks it up, and sunlight gives the plant energy. Easy enough, right?
But here's where it gets really interesting. Buried in those connections are what we call feedback loops. Think about it. You see the plant wilting, and that visual feedback causes you to act. You add more water. But what if that very action is what's making things worse? These loops, when they repeat over and over, create the stubborn patterns we're trying to understand. They're the hidden engine.
And that leads us right into the next phase of our exploration. We have to uncover the hidden patterns. An explorer doesn't just look at a map once. They watch the terrain over time, they notice the seasons, the weather. For us, that means looking beyond just a single wilting leaf today. Is there a pattern here? Does it always wilt a couple of days after you water it? Does it perk up for a bit and then crash? See, the wilted leaf is the symptom, but the pattern starts to tell the real story. So, to get from that pattern to the actual cause, we've got to dig. And one of the best shovels we have for this job is a brilliant little technique called the 5 whys. All you do is keep asking why until you can't anymore, until you've hit the foundation of the problem. Let's try it out. We start with the obvious. Why number 1? Why is the plant wilted? The immediate answer is, well, its leaves are yellow and dry. Okay, that's a clue. So, that brings us to why number 2. Why are the leaves yellow and dry? That's usually a sign that it's not getting enough nutrients. So, here comes why number 3. Why isn't it getting the nutrients it needs?
Aha! Now we're getting somewhere. We check the soil and realize its roots are rotting. This is a huge discovery. We thought the problem was a lack of water, but rotting roots usually means the exact opposite. So this leads to our final, most important question.
Why are the roots rotting? Because the pot has no drainage holes. The water just sits there, drowning the roots. And just like that, with 5 simple questions, we went from the symptom, a wilting plant, all the way down to the real structural root cause. Now that we've found the root cause, we get to do the most powerful thing of all. Find our leverage point. This is it. This is the ultimate goal for a systems explorer. It's not just about understanding what's going on. It's about finding that one special place in the system where one small, focused action can create a huge, lasting change. And that's the key idea. A leverage point isn't about pushing harder. It's about finding the right place to push. It's about finding a place in the system's structure, its design, its rules, where the smallest effort can create the biggest ripple effect. Let's just look at our houseplant one final time. The surface level fix, based on that first symptom, is to just water the plant more. The result? The root rot gets even worse and the plant dies. But a real system intervention, a leverage point intervention, is to repot the plant in a pot that actually has drainage. That one small structural change fixes the root cause and allows the entire system to heal itself and thrive. The beauty of this is that it applies to literally everything. A struggling project at work, a team that's not clicking, even a personal habit you can't seem to break. All you have to do is be willing to stop just fixing the symptoms and start exploring the system. So I guess the only question left is, what system are you going to explore first?